What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we have the Kroz Wallbreaker Fusion starting up. So we're going to be going over the weekend event news here right now. We do have a progressive event happening through the weekend for the Summon Rush that's going to be happening right here, 17 hours from time of recording. Let's take a look at what Plarium's going to give us in addition to this Summon Rush. Hopefully it's something good. And if you guys are not going for the Fusion, whether this progressive event is actually worth jumping into, let's take a quick look. So here it is on screen right now, right above my head. This Friday, November 21st, we're planning to launch a progressive event giving you a 15x chance to summon the champions of your choice from the selected pool, blah, blah, blah. All shards will apply. Generally, non-void champions for these types of 15x events give you about 5% chance at pulling the legendary that you selected. For the void chance, it's roughly about 16, 17, 18% roughly. It honestly depends on how large the pool is. So every time we get new champions inserted into the pool, the odds get lower and lower. So they technically should be increasing this X15 to like X20, X25 as a base rate, because the pool is just getting so big nowadays. It's so hard to get certain champions. Let's take a look at what we're being offered here for the weekend Summon Rush event. So we got Artak, Cupidus, Sisia, Walking Tomb Drang, Herndig for the non-void. So let's take a quick look at these. I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, these do not sound very enticing, especially if you're not going for the fusion at all. Artak was a free login champion back in the day. I don't know how many years ago it's been, but he's still one of the best free champions we've ever received in this game. He's got an AoE A1 extension on HP burns. He's got an A2 activation of HP burns, which is really, really good. And it's a decreased attack as well. 3-turn cooldown, very strong. And then his A3 here is an HP burn activation, application, on a double hit. Again, this is a 3-turn cooldown ability as well. So he can apply the HP burn, he can activate it, and he can extend it. So it's very, very strong. He has great base stats overall, and he's basically applicable in a lot of different areas, a lot of dungeon content. He makes Ice Golem way more accessible for people. Just a great champ overall, and he's going to be up for grabs for progressive. Usually when you see a free champion in a progressive, it just doesn't really sound super, super enticing because, probably more people than not will have them. Of course, not everyone's been playing for years, so that you might not have Artak and all that stuff. So maybe he's interesting to you. Up next, we have Cupidus from the Sacred Order. Sacred Order Cupidus here. He is a Spirit Affinity damage dealer. Now, Cupidus was buffed to be relevant. His A1 hits quite hard, especially when paired with Venus, because with Venus, he always counterattacks when he is attacked. So a strategy that worked well in the past for PvP content was that you have him and Venus together on the same team. You make Cupidus very slow, and you make him hit like a truck. Yeah, and then he can actually just wipe out your team. So if you're not ready for that, but that's a very old strategy and it doesn't work very well anymore, especially with Stone Skin and all that stuff. He also has an AoE HP burn as well. This is on a 4-turn cooldown, so it's not as good as Artak's, for example. And he has self-buffing abilities on his A3 for a big single target hit. Generally, his best use case is his A1 paired up with Venus. He's going to be up for grabs as well. Next up, we have Sisia Flame Tongue from the Demon Spawn faction. Sisia here, she's actually decent. She can be used in areas to deal damage like Hydra, like Spider, for example. She has a AoE HP burn. It's a placement so she doesn't suffer from affinity issues, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown. Now she has a chance for an extra turn ability on this skill if she lands all of the HP burn. That means if she doesn't get resisted or anything like that. And then what you want to do is cycle from this ability into her A2, which is a weaken and decrease defense on a 3-turn cooldown, as well as a instant activation of an HP burn. So this is quite a bit of damage. And it's a pretty good setup ability for the rest of your team to come in. So just these two abilities together is pretty solid. Of course, there's a little bit of RNG here for the extra turn. And then of course, there's RNG here as well for landing weaken and decreased defense. But generally, she can be a decent damage enabling and actually damage dealing champion. Overall base stats are very, very low. So she's quite squishy, but she has very good base attack. So she is not too bad. She does have some cardio partner shenanigans as well. And then up next, we have Walking Tomb Drang from the Night Rev. Now, Walking Tomb Drang was a fusion back in the day as well. He's actually a very solid champion, especially very early on. He doesn't require accuracy to land his HP burn because it cannot be resisted. He's very solid if you want like 100% team for some content because he always lands this HP burn, for example. He's decent in like Sand Devil, for example. You can use him for his HP burn, of course, paired up with Godseeker and Yuri and all that. He does bring some HP healing here on his H3, and he does bring an activator on the A1. He doesn't require accuracy in his kit, which makes him easy to build. He has very, very good base stats as well, so he's easy to keep alive. So like I said, for an early game player, he's actually quite strong. He's easy to build. He guarantees the HP burn. And he has support capabilities here with his A3 for a team heal. But if you're a super endgame player, this is not a very exciting champion for you. And lastly, for the non-voids here, we have Herndig from the Dwarf faction here. I have Herndig on both my accounts. He was a fusion back in the day, and he was a game changer for my account back in the day. He was my first real like kind of nuking champion. He's got an A1 that hits pretty hard, grants an extra turn if he kills somebody. Excuse me, not an extra turn, but a cooldown reduction on his big hit, his A3. His A3 actually has quite decent multipliers. It's a single target hit. It's a full turn meter drop. It places weaken and HP burn as well. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. But yeah, it's a pretty good smack. And then he has an AoE decreased defense, decreased accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown on his A2. The problem with him is that his base attack is quite low, 1409. His multipliers are good, like his A1 multiplier, A3 multiplier is quite strong, and then he has a pretty good debuff plus damage dealing A2, but his base attack is quite low, 1409. So it's kind of hard to get him to hit super hard, but he has other utility as well, like I said, lining weaken, HP burn, AoE decreased defense, and decreased attack. So he is viable for some support plus extra damage here and there. So that's going to be the non-voids. Let's head on to the voids. Is there anything a little bit more enticing here? It does look like a little bit more enticing. This is probably the most enticing champion from this list, and it's from the Lizardmen here. It's going to be Sulfurion. Now, I've been fortunate enough to pull this champion on both my accounts. Being a void Lego is not easy to get, and he is absolutely insane. He's obviously very, very good in basically all content. He has a AoE HP burn. It's a placement. He's void affinity anyways. So on a 3-turn cooldown, it provides a shield. And because of his passive, it also gives you turn meter as well as increased speed. So his A3 is absolutely insane. And then he comes in here with a 5-turn AoE revive, which grants an extra turn. So you can revive and then HP burn everybody and then get a big shield, get some big turn meter and then speed boost. So it's a really good survivability combination here. You got the revive and then you got the shield and then you got the turn meter boost so your team can catch up, which is really nice. His A1's not super crazy. It's a little bit of a turn meter fill, but this guy is all about the A2 paired up with his passive here, which is just nuts. You see this guy in all sorts of content. He can be applied to like basically every dungeon. He can work in Hydra. He can work in Arena because you can pair his HP burn with Incinerate in Arena, and then he can actually burn through Stone Skin. And that's kind of one of the big things that I use him in, or the big things that I use him for. Also, he pairs extremely well with Teox. So if you're fortunate enough to have Teox, then Sulfurion is just massive for you for that account as well. After that, we have Supreme Gaelic also up for grabs here from the Orc faction. Supreme Gaelic, very good champion still. He's a damage dealer. His A1 has an extension on HP burns. His A2 has the activation of the HP burn, also has some turn meter stuff. And then his A3, this is his big ability here on a 3-turn cooldown. It's an AoE attack. It's going to place HP burn and block buffs. And it also has a conditional decreased speed as well. On a 3-turn cooldown, this ability is very, very powerful. And it has a little cheeky extra 10% crit hit here as well. So, you know, I think for most people, you probably use this guy in Hydra. Hydra, you know, really needs that block buffs. He also brings a little bit of damage with the HP burns, and he can trigger some damage himself with the activator here as well. His passive's kind of cool, super annoying in hard faction wars. Whenever this champion receives any of this hard CC, instantly removes it, then fully heals the champion and gives him an extra turn. It's super annoying. Like I said, especially in hard faction wars, he's very viable champion, but as a void legendary, you probably don't want to see him just because his kit, I mean, it's decent. This ability is decent, but you can definitely replace this with somebody else like Ugo, for example, in an epic, and then you can cover the block buffs that way. Now, lastly, for the void champions here, we have the second part of the Cupidus combo, and that's going to be Venus. Now, I don't have Venus myself. Venus was actually like an all-star back in the day, to be honest. She has an A1 poison. It's good for clan boss, especially early on. She brings the 3-turn AoE decrease defense and weaken, which is always very solid. She's an old champion, and this ability is still very, very good. Obviously, it's not as good as Lydia's 3-turn AoE decrease defense and weaken, because Lydia brings increased speed and strengthen as well, which is absolutely busted. Lydia's just a busted champion even after like 6 years in this game, at least in regards to like the 3-turn AoE decrease defense. She also has a 4-turn AoE HP burn as well. Now we can kind of tell that the 4-turn AoE HP burn is not super great, considering that Artak can do it in 3 turns and he's a non-void legendary, but this, in addition to this, makes her kit quite strong, as well as an A1 poison. She's a general clan boss killer. She can bring tons of damage, poison, HP burn, and decreased defense and weaken to enable more damage from your team. She doesn't need damage stats, obviously. She just needs accuracy, so it makes it out so she's easier to build for especially newer players. And then she has this cheeky little passive here. It's not anything huge, but it removes all buffs from all enemies, and then gives you a 50% chance of an extra turn if Cupidus is on the field. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. Nothing crazy or anything. You don't really bank on this, but it's a little bit interesting. And sometimes you just kind of forget about it. So anyways, guys, that's going to be the list here. I mean, honestly, this is a very lackluster list. These champions, don't get me wrong, are great in their own way, and I'm sure they're going to be great for some accounts, especially newer accounts. Like I said, I highlighted in this video how to use some of these champions, how I've used some of these champions in my time playing Raid. But the best champion from this list is Sulfurion, and it's by a mile for the voids. I mean, Venus definitely works, but Sulfurion still gets played today. And for the non-voids, I mean, you can argue, there's a bunch of arguments made, but if you don't have Artak, I think Artak might be the most impactful, because Artak does cover, for example, Spider. If you're struggling in Spider, he definitely helps. If you're struggling Ice Golem, especially hard Ice Golem, Artak is kind of the easy answer for it. It does require some good gear, but he is the answer that you can bring to deal with hard Ice Golem eventually, once you get the gear, of course. Now, all of these other champions, like I said, they're good in their own way, and obviously you can pick whatever champion suits your account, but that would be my general recommendations here. Just a quick note here, down on the epics being offered, we do have Geomancer being offered as well, so if you don't have a Geomancer, that's going to be massive as well. We do have Farrakhan the Fat, which is one of the better epics as well for the ally attack, so if you need him, Geomancer or Farrakhan the Fat, they're very, very strong epics, one of the best, some of the best epics in the game, for example. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the progressive event that's happening for the weekend. It's going to happen alongside the Summon Rush. So if you guys are participating in the Fusion, this is what you have to look forward to and what you have to select from. Nothing really juicy here. Like, to me, I might even just leave the progressive slot blank and not take any increased chances on any of these non-void champions. But that's just for me, speaking for myself. Anyways, guys, hopefully this video was helpful and informative for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys are planning to do, what you guys are interested in. Do you guys have any interesting ways of using these champions? Let me know in the comments. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching until the end. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.